Readers Entertainment Radio presents Booklights with your host, author Lisa Kessler. Booklights, where we're shining a light on good books.
Hello, everyone. It's Monday, and it's June. It's probably heating up wherever you are, I hope. And and if it's not, we've got some contemporary romance to warm things up for you today. I have Fortune Whelan on, and I'm so excited because anyone who is a frequent listener knows that I'm an author, and I write paranormal romances and thrillers, and I do writing sprints through Zoom with the word makers, and so every time I have a friend on, I get very excited because I know them. So today, Fortune Whelan is with us. She is also in that word makers group where we write all the words. And if you have not read her hockey romances yet, oh my gosh, you are in for a treat. So I will read her bio here so you can get to know her, and then I'll bring Fortune on. So Fortune's stories are charming, silly, and emotionally fraught with fast-paced plots that keep pages flying. And Publishers Weekly has called her a romance writer to watch. When she's not at her standing desk fending off feline invaders, you can find her on her yoga mat or shelving books at the local library. You can keep up with Fortune everywhere. She's at Fortune Whelan, Whelan. And also you can sign up for her newsletter at her website. I did put a link to her website right there on Blog Talk. So if you're listening live right now with us today, or if you're listening later, you can click that link and head over to her website and sign up for her newsletter. Her website's beautiful, lots of pictures on there, so definitely go take a look. And without any further delay, are you there, Fortune?
I'm here.
Yay! It's so great to have you on today. Is it warming up there in Canada?
No, it's actually been a really cold spring. Like, there's still snow in the mountains. It's starting to melt, though,
really?
and fill up the creeks. But, yeah, still a little bit chilly. We had a guest here this weekend from Tucson, and he was wearing shorts, and I really felt bad for him because we were eating outside, and he was just covered in He's not Canadian.
Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have one book out and another book up for pre-order, and they're both in the same series, The Dorseys of Conception Bay. How many books are going to be in the series? Do you know?
Yeah, there's 3 books in the series. So Stuck With You came out last April. One Night With You I just got paperbacks for, and it's up for pre-order. That one comes out next month in July. And then I just got word from my publisher that my holiday book, which will come out October, is up for pre-order now as well. So it's very exciting. 3 books this year.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome. So
thank you.
Can people read the one that's up for pre-order? Can they read that on its own, or should they start with Stuck With You? Stuck With You is out now, so.
Yes, it is. No, they're all standalone books about to regular $70K. But if you do like the series tie-off, it's about 3 brothers. So the first brother is Clark. He's in Stuck With You. That one takes place in Seattle. The second book kind of shifts to their hometown in the kind of it's a town in the Pacific Northwest. And then the last book is also in town. So it's gone from big city to small town.
Okay. And I was wondering, too, is Conception Bay a real city, or did you make it up?
It is, the name is a real city, so it's in Newfoundland, Conception Bay, Newfoundland. And then the place that I called it in the Pacific Northwest, it's loosely based on Bainbridge Island in Washington.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell us kind of what it's about, why they should go out and grab a copy today?
Well, so Stuck With You is, if you ever had a kind of like a celebrity crush that you've kind of followed as a teenager, and you had posters up on your wall and you pretended like you guys were in love, or maybe they were pretty close proximity to you, like, for example, in Canada, it's always hockey players. They either live in your town, and there's a lot of stories. So if you, oh no, are you there?
I am.
Hello? Oh, sorry.
Hello, can you hear me?
I don't know what happened. Yeah, so there's like I don't know about in the States, but in Canada there's lots of small towns where a lot of hockey players end up playing junior hockey, and you'll have women will go out and like go to the same schools, and just like for the specific purpose of meeting a hockey player. And so I don't know how.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if you know where those are, that's kind of like that can happen. Like it happens more often than not, is probably what I should say. And then so in this book, Lena kind of grows up where Clark plays hockey, and she's a bit of a loner. So she does like he's her celebrity crush, and she almost gets her happily ever after with another athlete, but he turns out to be a jerk after she moves for him, which happens sometimes. And she won't take his money. She won't keep the engagement ring. She won't do any of these things. So she's kind of on her own, but she doesn't want to go back to where she's from. So she makes a deal with this guy who's not Clark. It's Clark's brother, who's an anti-hero in the book. And if you only read the book for Danny, you'll be very happy. Everybody loves Danny. I didn't mean for that to happen, but he is he's like, everyone loves him. Like the third, sorry, I'm just gonna about this tangent, but he's the third book, the one that's just gone up for pre-order. And it was really, it's always the second book which people are which authors kind of are nervous about, but for me it's the third book, because if I don't do Danny right, people are gonna be mad. But so Danny ends up kind of, what's it called, subletting his half of the apartment that he shares with his brother to Lena, because she's low on money. And the reason Danny does it is because his brother is very he takes care of him, but he's the little brother, so Danny doesn't like being taken care of. And now that Clark is retired, he's like, oh my God, this guy's going to be in my life all the time. Like, I can't take this. So he kind of it's a long-term plan for him. He's like, oh, first I'm going to put this woman in here, and then they can get married and they can leave me alone, kind of thing, which is, it's funny. I think it's funny. I read it a couple times since I wrote it. It's really funny, when you write a book and then you haven't read it in a long time and then you reread it,
right?
And you're pleasantly surprised, and you're like, oh, maybe I am funny.
I wrote this. What?
Yeah. I always have that, but I need some time away from it. I can't, when you're so into it, and then you're just you can't separate yourself from it for a long time, and then when you go back and read it, it's nice. It's nice to have some separation from the story and from the characters, and just see them stand on their own.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel when the audiobooks come out, and I have to listen to them to be sure all the chapters are there and all that. And I hear it and I'm like, wow, what? What? I read that? Because for me, my audiobooks tend to come out after the book. So it's been, a year since I read that book, and it is fun to go back. It's like seeing old friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to ask you, why hockey? I know you're from Canada. Are you a gigantic hockey fan? Why did you make these three brothers hockey players?
It's mostly access. So for when you're a kid growing up in Canada, everyone everyone you date plays hockey. I imagine in the States would be football or basketball, or in Europe would be a soccer player. So really it was access.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew you get to know, it's just when you write kind of diverse, and there's some nuances. I wouldn't let, my husband's a hockey player, and his house, when we started living together, his hockey gear wasn't allowed inside. There's just kind of those little nuances that you never hear about. You only hear about the hot and sexy stuff. But
right.
But those are things. And also, what's it called? I am a big hockey fan. So I grew up in Calgary. I was in second or third grade maybe when the Calgary Flames won the Stanley Cup. And Calgary's such a big hockey city. And then I was 24, 25 during the Stanley Cup run in 04, 05, which everything just went crazy. I don't know if it was all over the news. Like the whole avenue is full of people. People were traveling from all around the world just to come and see it.
Wow.
I remember a couple guys came from Australia to come watch. Yeah, and they had no idea. They didn't know anything about hockey. They just saw it on the news and were like, let's go there. That looks fun. So that's really good. And then there was just like recently, the Flames made the playoffs again this year. And that kind of threw me for a loop. But now that they're out, I've slept a lot. I've caught up on sleep. But yeah, so big hockey fan.
So I wanted to ask if the guys in your series are on a real hockey team, or did you make up a fictional hockey team?
These were, so Clark is retired. I don't name the team. I do name the city. And it is fictional.
Okay.
So I should have just named
Do the other brothers play hockey too?
No, one is a developer. And Danny's he was in a car accident right when he first started playing hockey. So, and that happens way like 10 years before everything in the stories happen.
Oh,
so
okay.
Nothing.
I see.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny thing. So Lena plays softball, and there is actually a softball scene in the book. And I was talking to somebody about, how it is to write sports romance in a way that's like not a play-by-play, but still interesting. So I found that really, interesting. Like a lot of the scenes, the sports scenes from my original manuscript got cut, and I think there's only 2 left. But yeah.
Oh, very cool. Well, So I wanted to ask you too if you had any big surprises. Like, what was your biggest surprise writing these? I know you're a pantser like me, so there's often surprises. But was there one twist where you were like, "Oh my gosh, what?"
There's always. I didn't expect like Danny to be so beloved. I was just writing him as just like who he was. And then in the second book, there's also a secondary character. His name is Cameron, who's also like, he got a shout out in my Publisher's Weekly review by the reviewer, which I was, and so I found that good. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's very
Maybe if
cool.
I could translate that into the main characters, I'd be, the best-selling author.
Dang, those side characters taking over.
Right?
What was your writing journey like? Because our listeners are mostly readers, and they're always really interested in your road to getting published. And you've had lots of different, career paths and things like that. What did your writing journey look like?
So just in general, I've always been a writer. Like I was a kid that, I read a lot as a child. When I went to my little elementary school had these books like everyone would contribute to and publish. I'd publish them and put them in the library. So that was kind of my first experience with like quote unquote publishing. And then I wrote my first murder mystery. I was a big fan of Murder, She Wrote. So I wrote that when I was 10. And then just like generally like just writing off and on for myself, journaling, all that fun stuff, until I wrote an entire yoga course, 200-hour teacher training, all technical, like a very technical manual, but it just kind of got me into like, oh, like this is what I should be doing. And so we moved. We sold our house just outside the big city, and we moved out to a mountain town called Canmore. And where I live, I think we have about 15,000 people who live here. And there are, as our indie bookstore says, we have at least 112 published authors that live here.
Wow.
That was before they took and that's just authors. Like we have there's filmmakers here and artists, like sculptors. Our mayor for a long time was a potter, like he made pots, ceramics.
Wow.
So it's it's a neat little town. And this is where I found the inspiration to write. And I thought that I wanted to, so just 30 miles down the road, there's a college called the Banff Center for Arts and Creativity. And I thought I was going to have to like take workshops or kind of apply for a residency, something like that. And I ended up getting a residency in France, like earning a residency in France just prior to COVID. I didn't end up going. I didn't end up going because of COVID, because it was November 2020 is when I was supposed to be there.
Dang.
Yeah, but what happened was I, just started writing a lot because I had access to authors. I have a really good friend who lives in town, and she's published for the Big Five, and she didn't know me, but we had one of her best friend actually works with me at the library. So I asked, I didn't ask her for an introduction, but she said, you should call her, and so one day I finally did. And in probably 2 hours over coffee, the first time I met her, I learned more about publishing than I had like on my own trying to do research. So it's a lot less romantic and a lot more strategic in terms of how I got into publishing. Yeah. So, and that in was romance. So, so I learned how to do that. And her biggest thing was, to, join the organizations, learn from people. And that's what I did. So I went to, this was again pre-RWA big stuff. So I went to the Calgary RWA meeting before kind of it's really funny. I actually went to the meeting where they imploded. I went to, it was my very first RWA meeting in Calgary. Yeah. And that was just really fun. And that's where they decided that they were going to disband and create a new organization. And, but out of that meeting, I met some really great people out of that meeting. So I met my very first beta reader. I met a friend of mine who's she's just sold a series a couple months ago. So that it's not that it didn't pan out. It was just like, but my beta reader that I got out of that meeting, she's the one who beta read stuff with you while I was writing it. So there's that. And then I had joined another organization online which came out of the RWA kind of implosion, and that was the inclusive, what's it called? Oh, IRP, Inclusive Writers. Oh, what is it? Inclusive Writers of Romance? No, IRP. The Inclusive Romance Project.
I never remember what the middle one is. There you go, Romance Project.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so same thing. They had that organization was created by Karma out of what happened with RWA as well. And it was through that organization that I learned how to pitch. And so my first contract was I got because I pitched. So I didn't have a manuscript yet. I just had a really good pitch. So and I didn't even get a contract from the publisher I pitched to. It was somebody else who had read the pitch. So there's a little bit of publishing fairy going on, which I feel very kind of grateful and fortunate about in terms of like the people I met along the way and all the help I've had. So that was that. And then so I pitched on Twitter and I wrote the manuscript. So I pitched it. Somebody said, send it to me. And I went, okay, I guess I have to write it now. So I wrote it and I sent it in. And that's how I got so it was pitched as a single title and it became a series. So that's that. And
I love that.
Yeah. So that was July 2020, so almost 2 years ago today.
Wow. And to then have 3 books come out in 1 year, that's really, meteorically fast for publishing for that to happen. Yeah, so you've been busy.
I have been busy. Because I did at the beginning of this year I kind of went into a downturn. I think I was just tired, like in general of like everything. So I did spend some time kind of, what's it called? Just chilling out a bit and then
refilling your creative well.
Yeah. And I was telling Tasha, like just in our, in the chat there on Word Makers, I was like, I feel like I'm sandbagging because I still like did a whole bunch of stuff. But it just I just didn't fill my calendar.
Right.
Which is okay.
Right. And sometimes you need that. You need to fill the well so that you can be inspired to write the next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've got I started writing the next thing, but very slowly. I'm trying to be a little bit like we're pantsers. I'm trying to be a little bit more. I don't know what the word is. Why do authors know no words? More precise about it. Like just trying to be more intentional about it. But I also don't want to be like arrested in it. Like sometimes for me, I have to write it. It has to exist before I can fix it. Because if it doesn't exist yet, my brain will go everywhere. Yeah.
Right.
You know how it is.
Right. And is it top secret, or can we know sort of what's coming next for you after the Dorothy's?
Not top secret. So I actually have two projects on the go. One is a romantic suspense book it's fully written, and I've gotten feedback on it. It's just been sitting on my desk needing an edit. So that's the one thing. I have a meeting with my publisher, for another series, and I have a few ideas about that one. I'd like to keep it kind of like I'd like to keep some Filipino heroines in it, just because my proofreader at Tuli, she's a half Filipino as well, and she really enjoyed One Night with You with the Filipino heroine. So I think I might. So I'm definitely would like to stay in that lane a little bit. So I don't know. And then I have the project that I started writing. It does have a Filipino heroine in it. It does have the same kind of relatable family dynamics. But I can't tell you what the trope is because that's a secret.
Okay. Okay. We can keep little secrets. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to tell you, but the thing is, it'll probably change by the time it comes out.
Right. By the time it's out in the world. So when you're refilling the well, do you have certain authors that you read that you're like, oh my gosh, and you're so inspired to get back to the keyboard? Our listeners love to add to their to be read list. So who are we missing?
So I'm a really an extreme mood reader. So when I find something I like, I'll read everything that they write. So the last person I did that with was Fonda Lee. She wrote this really incredible fantasy series called the Jade Bone Saga. And that's a 3-book series. And I think she just put out a prequel to the book, which is up for pre-order, but now I have to get it. But I think all the books were 1,000 pages each, and I blew through them in
wow.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. That was at the beginning of the year when I was really tired and burned out, and I immersed myself in this world, and I loved it. It was so great. I'm starting to read a lot more YA, which I'm not used to reading. I don't read a lot of it, but I read one that was really good recently called Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. It's quite good. And then I really like Olivia Dade. Her books are I find them charming and funny. And I love I just love the himbos. It's a nice change. It's a nice alternative to the alpha male. Just it's funny because they're still not as self-aware, but it's just cuter and funnier without. I don't know.
Without being bossy.
Yeah, it's okay not to be bossy all the time.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I don't know what else I've been reading. I just picked up Sylvia Moreno's newest book. She wrote Mexican Gothic. And I just
I didn't know she had a new one.
Yeah, it's called something about velvet. It takes place in the 70s in Mexico City. So it's a whole and it's drug runners, and it's very interesting so far. It's a totally different vibe than Mexican Gothic. But I'm very interested in it. So I'm just the first
few pages.
Sounds good. Yeah, I don't know. It always takes me a while to get into a book. It's very rare for me to sit down and consume an entire book. It usually takes a week to get through the first 20 pages. I don't know what it is. But once and I read a lot of nonfiction. So.
Right. Well,
yeah.
And you probably fill up a little bit too on hockey stuff, right?
Well, only when the playoffs.
Are you reading up on who's going where? And
I don't have to read up on that. I get what's it called? I get updates. I'm in a
you get alerts.
My husband, yeah. So I get all the updates. Get baseball updates there too. I don't know if you've seen it. Do you follow Tom Brady on Instagram? He has a new underwear ad. Yeah, he has a new underwear ad, which you might find interesting. For research purposes.
Just for research, book research. Yeah.
Yeah, cover art.
Well, I know that you also have a podcast, and I think it's a hockey podcast because it's called Chippy Chicks. But do you want to tell everybody about that and what your podcast is about and when they can listen and all that?
Yeah, so it's a YouTube show called Chippy Chicks, and if we get to 100 subscribers, we'll be able to get a what's called like a URL on it. So right now it's just a regular URL, and if you go to my website, there's a link to it, or you can just search Chippy Chicks on Google. We're usually the first ones that come up. So that one's a YouTube show that I do with 4 other authors who write hockey romances. So there's Kelly Jamieson, Mel Ting, Stacey Agdern, and Danica Flynn. And we talk about hockey. So we usually talk about what's going on in hockey, like the big things that are going on. So last month we were discussing the playoffs, and then we talk about hockey books. We talk about our favorite. So the hockey players, whenever they show up at a game, they're always dressed up in suits. So we have like the best dress section every week. And then we also do a kind of a roundtable, the craziest things that have happened. So some of the episodes that we've talked about, so last week we did playoffs. We talked about women's hockey after the Olympics. We talked about, what's it called? Just kind of like toxic masculinity in hockey, things like that. So it's not always heavy. It might start out heavy, but it's something pretty light, and I love it. So we're usually the 3rd Sunday of the month. It'll get moved if there's a holiday. Yeah, but I think the next one we've got is on June 26th, which is actually the 4th Sunday because the 19th is Father's Day. So, yeah, that's a fun
gotcha.
one.
And people can find Chippy Chicks just searching on YouTube, but do you have links for it on your website and social media?
Yeah, you can. If you go to my social media, the links are in the bio for YouTube. It's just called Chippy Chicks, and also on my what's it called? On my website.
Okay, perfect. And we're running out of time, but I have to ask, favorite hockey movie?
Hockey movie? Oh my God. The Cutting Edge, does that count? I don't know if that counts.
Yes, yes it does. That's one of my all-time favorites because my daughter is a figure skater, and so we lived at the ice rink. So she and I, we both loved Cutting Edge, and she just got engaged to a guy who used to be a hockey player. And I told her I expect a toe pick reenactment. It has not happened.
Yeah, I'd like her dance. Oh, could they have their first dance like on the ice? That'd be amazing.
Right. I keep telling her, so I'm waiting.
We're actually kicking around some funny ideas about other people aside from hockey players who could get together in hockey books, like the anthem singers and like the organ players. But we'll see.
Very cool. Well, before we go, can you tell readers if they get really excited about reading Stuck With You or they pre-order One Night With You, how do you like to communicate with readers? I know you're on social media, but do you like Twitter, Instagram? How can they contact you?
Instagram's the best place, so at Fortune Whelan, just my name. And then you can also email me at just fortune@fortunewhelan.com. And if you do subscribe to my newsletter, if you write me, I usually write back. So we're still at.
Oh, yay. Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody, go out and grab Stuck With You. You can get now, and you can pre-order One Night With You. It'll be out next month. And thanks so much for being here, Fortune. It was so fun to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, and I will see you probably tomorrow.
Yes, see you.
Thanks for joining us on Booklights. Be sure to connect with us at www.readersentertainment.com for articles, blogs, videos, and podcasts that matter to readers.